Right, greetings and welcome people. I have escaped, so I have made my getaway. My break for freedom. While many people are sat in their homes, in their sitting rooms and living rooms and kitchens and maybe in pub lounges somewhere watching the England-Panama World Cup match, I'm doing something much more enjoyable. Can you guess? Yes, I know what I'd rather do for best part of 2 hours. And it is not sitting on my backside watching 22 overpaid, self-important, arrogant divas and prima donnas running around on a patch of grass trying to kick a ball into the back of the net at the other end. Some of whom will spend a large part of the game deliberately trying to harm or even incapacitate members of the other team, while throwing themselves to the ground at the slightest chance of possibly getting a free kick or a penalty when they've barely been touched. I just can't stand it. And obviously whenever any team is playing England, they seem to pull out all the stops in the cheating and the bad sportsmanship, and no, I don't see any pleasure in watching that at all. I think I've said before that yes, I'd like England to do as well as they can, but years and years of experience have shown me that that is the least likely of outcomes. I'm not being negative and depressed about it, it's just realism. But anyway, we are out and about in the sunshine, slightly overcast but not in any significant way, very high stratocirrus clouds. Oh, excuse me, I believe they're called. It is very warm, very pleasant. Not my considered ideal riding weather, but I'll take it. So I'm back on the road after the last vlog I made, when I think I mentioned something about the back brake was making a strange noise. And I thought one of the caliper bolts might have worked a bit loose or something like that. Well, there was a little bit of play in the caliper, but it wasn't one of the bolts. The bolts were tight and secure. It was actually the slider pins, because it's a floating caliper. It's connected to the fixing bracket by two pins that slide into sockets on the caliper itself, and one of those is slides into a long rubber boot which goes right the way through the caliper, and that was the one that had quite a lot of play in it. So I've replaced that boot now. Caliper is back together. There is still a little bit of movement in it, so I'm just wondering whether the pin itself is also worn. Well, thinking about it logically, if it's a steel pin sliding in a rubber boot, I can't imagine how the pin itself could wear unless there was grit and dust in the boot that was wearing away the pin, albeit at a much slower rate than the boot that it was in. That's a little poem, but hey. So it's back together, we'll see how it goes. Okay mate, don't worry about it. We'll see how it goes. I did think I was going to have to order the slider pins, which is for 2 stainless steel pins, is over 20 quid, about £26 when you include postage, which is rather a lot. So I'm hoping I don't have to go that extra step. I'm just hoping the boot replacement, as I say, there still seems to be a little bit of play there, but we'll see if it settles in. So I'm hoping that completes this year's routine maintenance of the back caliper. So now I just need to move on to both of the front calipers. I have now received the piston kits, and as I've already had the front calipers apart before for maintenance, etc., I don't think there'll be any surprises as in seize bolts or anything like that for this exercise. I'm hoping to get to that later this week. I've got some work coming up this week, but it's not every day, and if the weather holds good, I should have plenty of opportunities to get out, which is a bit ironic because obviously in good weather most people would say, yay, get out, ride the bike. Well, I'm torn because I can only work on my bike in good weather. I don't have any cover. I don't have a workshop or a garage. I think I've said this several times. So I can only do any sort of work on the bike in decent weather. Although having said that, to be fair, the front calipers is the sort of job all I need is 10 to 15 minutes to get the calipers off, and then I can take them indoors and work on them undercover. Yeah, bumpy road. So I was going to go the whole hog on the front calipers and send them off and get them recoated, or buy some caliper paint and do them myself. But generally they're in pretty good condition. Alright, which way are you going, buddy? You've got no idea, have you? Yes, if the existing coating was flaking off, if there was corrosion, then yes, I definitely would. While they're often in pieces, I would definitely clean them up, paint them, or get them done. I think I've got a quote of, I think it was about £80 collected, recoated and delivered back for both calipers if I take them apart, strip them down. I don't mean strip down the coating, I just mean take all the seals and everything out, which I'm quite happy to do as I've done it before. Here we are on one of my standard roads. Seen this one loads of times. Beautiful green trees, bright sunshine, blue skies, powerful motorcycle. What more could a man want? Well, apart from those many men and women who are now sitting watching the football. They're quite happy with that. Yeah, I think the roads are very quiet considering it's a sunny Sunday afternoon. So at least one good thing's come out of the England match. And of course I didn't bring any cash with me, so if I wanted to get a copy at Whiteways, I'm stuffed. So I could check out if they take card. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. I think my memory ever works properly will be a significant day indeed. Fair few there. Of course, one of the biggest problems with doing any maintenance on a bike or even a car or any vehicle is the money. And say I bought 2 sets of pistons and seals for the front calipers, £70 each, so that's 140 quid. Now if somebody was paying a mechanic to fit those, you could probably add another 1 or 2 hours money on top of that, so it's probably another 80 to 100 pounds. Obviously I'm not paying that, I'm doing the work myself, but running any vehicle is nothing but expense. Maybe if I keep this bike in good condition and keep it long enough, it may start to appreciate in value instead of depreciate, but clearly I'm never going to get back everything I spent on it. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Thank you very much. Yes, I don't believe he even saw me before he pulled out, that's why the hazards were flashed, either to say thank you or to say sorry. He's exceeding the speed limit by a significant amount. Hey ho. Right, here we go. I'm going to... how about you as we hit this national, mate? Fourth gear overtake, that's not bad, on 40 miles an hour. Yeah, and I should slow down a bit really. Just a little bit of a flat there to clear Babe's lungs. Yes, I know. Yeah, this bike may be 24 years old, over 24 years old now, and coming up to 62,000 miles on the clock, but it's got everything I need, apart from decent fitted luggage, but I don't need that often. The soft luggage will suit my needs. I'm not going to cross as double solids to overtake, so bug. Meaning to come back and do another test ride on one of the Tiger range. I don't know whether to try an 800, 1050 or 1200. Because the new 1200 coming out means there's plenty of used, plenty of used Explorers around there, because some people do that. As soon as a new model of whichever bike they've got is announced, They're straight down the dealer. Yes, I'll have a new one of those please. Yes, you can have my 5,000 or 6,000 mile barely used bike back in part exchange, which you can then resell and make a huge profit on. It's probably still got a fair chunk of the manufacturer's warranty still going on it. Ooh. Ow. Lovely roads. 50. Oh, nice and shaded. Sun dappled shade. As far as looks go, we've got some pretty nice roads around this area. Some of the surface conditions are a bit iffy. Not too bad, but there are patches where it's a bit sort of whether I'm in my car or on my bike, I don't like hitting hard bumps. It feels uncomfortable to me. I just think to myself, what damage is that doing to my steering or suspension or whatever. I don't know, come out on your bike to get away from the football, walk into the dealership, what have they got on the telly? Flipping football. Oi. Oh well. At least England are doing well. 5-0 from the first half. Oh, nice Morgan. But certainly looking around at the bikes they've got in the showroom there, they've certainly got plenty with sold stickers on them. So things seem to be looking pretty healthy. Yes, I know it's the time of year for bike sales. So but it's looking good, and there's a good range of different styles of bikes as well, from the classic and the cruiser to the naked and the adventure, the tiger. Yeah, so if this bike was ever going to get a stable make, it would probably be a tiger. That's what I'd like. Of course, it's all a matter of money. Money to buy the other bike, money to tax, insure, and just generally maintain two bikes. Especially if the new bike came with a significant part of the manufacturer's warranty remaining, I would have to consider whether how much of the work I did myself, because obviously the warranty is dependent on maintenance being done by an accredited workshop. God, flipping caliper. It's working. It's making a flipping racket when it does. Oh dear. Oh, lovely jag. Very nice. So not really much of anything on this ride today, just a run out. Like I said, I want to try and get out on the bike at least once a week if I can, weather and other factors permitting. For the last few weeks I've had some casual part-time work that's coming to an end. So hopefully should be back to being able to ride whenever I am able to get out. Next Sunday I'm hoping to go to Bovington Tank Museum in Devon for Tank Fest. It's an event they do every year. Blimey, what's that? Something flying overhead. Oh, there it is. Helicopter. The police. I ain't done nothing. Honest, Ossifer. Oh, what's going on here? Oh. wasn't out for doing anything special, just wanted to get out of the house while the match was on. But the roads are starting to fill up with traffic again. The match isn't quite over yet. Full time should be in about 5 minutes, and there's probably another 5 minutes of added time. So by the time I get home it should all be all done and dusted. Just in time to have a nice cup of tea. Oh, big bug splat. Lovely. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I will never wear an open face helmet, even with goggles. Because you get splattered in the face with all sorts of bug guts and stinging insects and goodness knows.